and this is my team of Harun, Eden, Najla, Zahra, and our amazing champion, Mohammed. Please give a big round of applause to Mohammed. This guy's amazing. All right, so we are pitching as a lobbying group to the EU stakeholders, specifically to the Vice President of EEAS, that's the Action Services of Europe. We all believe that one thing is important for inclusive society, that's free media. Democracy rests on five main pillars. We have independent judiciary, we have elections, we have rule of law, we have human rights, and we have a free, pluralistic media. Now imagine a world where the news you consume comes from a few, just handful of voices. The narratives you hear, the views you believe, the things you see is just controlled by a few powerful entities. That's exactly what's happening in Israel since 2023 of October. What's happening in Israel? Since Netanyahu's government, three things have happened. He's using media for his own benefit, in which he's being portrayed as a political prodigy, whereas all the other news channels in the world, whether that's from the global south, whether that's from the west, even bans on Al Jazeera, every single thing is portraying him as something else. So these vast perspectives really show you how the media is not being portrayed as something, and media should portray what's being portrayed. Number two, there is constant democratic backsliding, where there is disinformation all the time. There is security concerns, which are often used to justify press freedom. And lastly, there are biased narratives which sort of dominate every single thing, which sort of leads to undermining media pluralism. Media pluralism and media freedom stands for an inclusive society and democracy. And if Israel believes that it's the only democracy in the Middle East, then it should follow the last pillar as well. This leaves us with one specific question that we're going to address. How can the EU stakeholders help prevent further backsliding and uphold the pillar of free media in a democracy like Israel?
Here are the current challenges linked to media freedom and fairness in Israel. Number one, concentration on media ownership. The biggest newspaper in Israel, Harun Israel, which is accessible free for everyone in the country, is basically owned by an American billionaire, Sheldon Adelson, who is the prime minister. The other one is prosecution of journalists. They prosecute journalists in many ways by either shutting downing of the media outlets such as um, Al Jazeera in Israel, harassing the journalists by police directly, or by provoking the people who are fan of the prime minister. The third one, legal restrictions. There are certain laws such as those relating to military or censorship restrict what can be reported, especially during the military operations and conflicts.
So in light of what my two colleagues have said, we would like to propose solutions. And these solutions will come from three categories. So the first one will be, we will look at solutions from the legislative perspective. We'll look at one solution or two solutions from the finance perspective. We'll look at the last solution from the education perspective. So with the legislative perspective, we think there should be antitrust laws where big corporations like Israel Aliyom shouldn't get the power or shouldn't have the ability to buy out small media outlets. This, we think, it's going to stifle the multiplicity of voices within the media space. And the second solution, within the legislative category, we think there should be an anti-SLAPP legislation, which is strategic lawsuits against public participation. We think if there are laws against these lawsuits, there will be these bigger corporations that have a lot of resources will not be able to stifle or will not be able to prevent small or media outlets that are growing in terms of taking them to courts through lawsuits and draining them of the resources that they have. And on the side of finance, we think there should be tax incentives so that the media landscape will have a lot of smaller other outlets that will also churn out the ideas that they think will benefit the citizens. And the second one will be, we think there should be a public interest journalism fund that these media outlets that are smaller can tap into to help their operations. And the last category will be on the side of education. We think within the education curriculum, there should be critical thinking that will help students to be able to discern between fake news and proper news. And the last thing will be, we think there should be support for the media outlets that are fighting the issue of fake news. So there is this organization within Israel, which is called Fake Reporter. What they do is they bring out disinformation or misinformation within the media landscape. We think all these solutions that we've channeled will go a long way to help Israel have an informed citizens or inclusive society, and also will help the citizens understand what is being put out for a better media space within Israel. Thank you.